So we touched down in Dallas late morning. I think we got to the shop there in Allen around 1 o'clock. Had some lunch with Tony, and then went back and kind of finished up some of the loading up of the trailers and making sure we had all of the tools that we needed. And we had some brake lights and wiring issues on one of the trailers, so it took us a little bit to get that wrapped up, and then headed out of town. So right now we're heading south. Just got outside of the traffic in Dallas, and we're probably about an hour into our drive to Houston, Texas, where we will be visiting 2 different places. We were there a couple weeks ago. Long story short, they were both very reluctant to us filming, so we didn't. We did end up making deals with both gentlemen. We ended up making the deal, but basically had to finalize some stuff before we were able to do it. And in that, they kind of inferred that they wouldn't mind if we. One was very okay with it. The other one, we're still not 100% sure, but we're going there prepared to have film, and hopefully everything will work out. So we'll see. I mean, it's still a little bit up in the air, but we're pretty sure that it's so. At 7:45 tomorrow morning, we meet at the first place, 2 cars, and finish the deal up financially and basically load those cars up. They were, last time we were there, they were behind a couple of other cars that were in front of it. I think he's already moved those. I was kind of hoping to be able to, film that as well and just kind of show you how the layout was before, how they had been sitting for the last 20 years. And these are clean cars. These are super nice cars. It wasn't like a barn find where there's mounds of dust. These cars don't even have dust on them. So beautiful cars, but they've already moved, I believe, the 2 that were in the front of the other 2. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out, but hopefully, and he has a lot of knowledge. This gentleman has a lot of knowledge about these cars, so hopefully he'll talk about those types of things on camera with us, because that knowledge then can get passed on to you guys. So, but he just had a lot of knowledge about the parts and everything associated with these cars. So anyway, so we're heading south. We're gonna stay the night in Houston somewhere near our appointment in the morning, 7:45. We load up a few. When we're done there, we head over about another half an hour to 45 minutes away to another gentleman's warehouse. He's a little bit more open about us, filming and sharing, and so I think that's gonna be a really, both of them are gonna be awesome videos if it works out. But this one I know is gonna work out, because he was, by the time we were done last time we were there, he was excited about it. So, so that I think is gonna be, that's gonna be an awesome one, because it's 3 of the same cars, and all 3 are Holy Grails. So, stay tuned. I think we're all guilty of that, right? Oh, yeah. Especially when they're beautiful things like this.
Oh my God.
When we were here last time, you told us a lot of information about this car, both cars, actually all the cars.
You're good.
Yeah,
Basically
so
about Boss in general.
Yeah, well, in further digging, so I told you I bought the car in 2000, and I didn't. I bought it in 01.
Okay.
I bought it almost on my birthday in 01. And we bought it from a guy by the name of Bruce Record, who got it. He was brokering the deal for a guy by the name of Greg Dupree.
Okay.
Original owner's son, supposedly, and all that. But when we got the car, it was all original from him.
And this was from California.
California car. It was sold out of Dunton Ford.
Okay.
It was built. It was shipped to Galpin Ford, but Dunton actually sold the car.
Okay.
And so we've got. I don't have any documentation on that other than, you know, the license plate frame that was on it said Dunton Ford. You know?
And the Marty report would say that if we pulled
No,
that, right?
because it's showing right there. There's the actual
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Marty there.
Well, the invoice says it was sold to Galpin. The Marty says it went to Dunton.
Right. So there's, you know, I don't know the difference there if they sold it, which one, who's who, because I don't have an original bill of sale on it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So we shipped the car to a guy by the name of Ken Dotry that owns that had K&K Classics here in Houston, and they started a slight restoration on it. And so when we signed up for the restoration, you paid by the hour. So we started at the front and worked our way down. And by the time we got back here, we were at 15,000, and we hadn't touched nothing.
And this was 20 years ago,
yeah,
right?
That's 20 years, 22 years ago.
Yeah, so.
And so we decided then that we pulled the car.
Okay.
And so the car kind of languished here at my place on a rotisserie for a few years. And then we had S&T Automotive out in Katy paint it. And then it languished a little more, and I sent it to a guy by the name of Dave Riley in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Okay.
And he finished the car.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so he took all of our parts after it was painted and everything and put it all together.
So this car was painted in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
2005?
Well, it would have been around probably 02, 03.
Okay, so it's 20-year-old paint job.
Yeah.
Looks like it came out yesterday.
Yeah. So, you know, we had, I think it's amazing. It was painted, it was Sickens, you know.
Yeah, we use Sickens at our Georgia shop. We
Yeah.
always had good success with that, especially
Yeah.
matching things and stuff like that.
So Dave took it, I mean, if you don't know Dave Riley does Cobras, AC Cobras. He did stuff for Dave Giuliano. He's done stuff for a lot of well-known people. Mark Timken from the Timken Bearing family. I mean, they just a lot of different things. But so Dave's a freak about paint, colors, codes, finishes, and everything. So these cars were both done by him. He freshened up the Boss 9. But just like the glass, we paid extra to have the Carlite logos etched in there.
Oh, wow.
The center etching here.
Yeah.
So just that on the glass was an extra $500, and then not including just the glass with the green tint.
$500 you to death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we had Snake Oil. I've got receipts from Snake Oil where they did the seat belts, and back then it was $500 to redo the seat belts because they were sticking the springs and all.
Gotcha.
I don't even know if Snake Oil's in business anymore. You know.
Gotcha.
So.
And how long ago would you say that it was finished, and then how long ago since it's last been ran?
So we ran it, so in the documentation that I found going back through things, it had to have been 09
Okay.
by the time everything was finished, because we showed it in Tulsa. So, and that was the last time it backed in here, and then that was the last time it ran.
Oh, so it hasn't even ran in 15 years.
No, we haven't started it, we parked it. So, yeah, we haven't ran it. It had to drive at Tulsa to show.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, so.
Well, Hemi Bill's going to have fun with this one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's the little classic. That's put on the, we want best to show.
CVC. Yeah, they make modern Mustang stuff.
This thing is so beautiful. Do you know how many of these were made in black?
34.
Yeah.
34? Oh, it's on there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it was a California smog car.
Yeah.
So,
and the plates, they're no longer with them, right? The black plates?
Right.
Yeah. We like that because...
Not at this time.
Yeah. Is there any pictures of him with it on?
Yeah, he had some pictures.
Yeah, he gave me the pictures.
I didn't know if we saw the plates. Oh, yeah, that's right. We pointed it out last time.
Right.
That's right.
They had black plates on it.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So we collected up all the stuff, but we used a mixture of NOS parts and then some stuff that was like these vents, where this was a reproduction. but I don't even know that you can get these anymore. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you could get, I mean, it changed.
Even the repop stuff. You can
Yeah,
get.
the guys come and go.
Yeah.
Scott Drake is probably one guy that, and Scott Fuller's hung on, you know, the California guys. But man, it's just rare. The people that are in it now, you know. I mean, there used to be a guy that repopped this, and he would refinish the stainless. He's dead, and you know, just like the carburetors. And Joe Bunatek and Mike Allray were the big carburetor and distributor guys, and they've since moved on.
Yeah.
So
all this information we're learning, because you know we mainly do a lot of the Mopars and stuff, so we've bought quite a few Shelbys and Bosses and stuff well, just a couple Bosses, but over the last couple years, and so we learn as we go on stuff that we don't know.
Right.
You know, names that you're bringing up, you know, a lot of them ring a bell, but we don't specifically know them like we do in the Mopar side of things. But
yeah, I mean, the Ford stuff you really got to watch, because there's just so much out there, because you know, Ford was bad about, they intermingled parts. So like if you don't have the right air cleaner, you can take a 6-cylinder air horn and you can make you a 428. But it's like things like that you have to have a keen eye on.
otherwise you can get tricked.
Oh, for sure, for sure. This one has the correct carburetor. And it is born with the motor that it came with.
Okay.
But the thing that you have to watch on the early 68s is that they had 390. Some of them had 390 interceptor motors.
Okay.
So same parent bore block. I mean, it's just, you know.
And these are considered numbers matching, because these have, the 68 would have a VIN on it versus
Right.
like a 67, correct?
Well, but the thing is that, I mean, numbers matching, when people go and ask about a numbers matching, that's really construed, because, I mean, when you asked me, tell me about, is it numbers matching, I can tell you it is, because in my mind, you know, numbers matching is it has the correct motor, transmission, and rear end for the car. But that is the least costly on this car. I mean, you got to have the carburetor, you got to have the distributor.
Oh, you have to have all that stuff.
Yeah, you have to have everything. The distributor, you know, the fan,
Yes.
the pulleys, the smog, does all that jive up? And so, you know, and that's in the Ford world a real gray area that you have to really watch.
Gotcha.
You know, because when you say numbers matching, you know, yeah, it might be, but that's a 73 dated, alternator.
The Mopar
You know.
world's like that too on some of the, especially on like, well, really a lot of guys it's with everything, but especially when you get into the Hemis and the six-pack
Yeah.
cars and stuff like that, they want to make sure everything is date code correct, you know, and or period correct, that
Yeah.
time period, and there's variations of how far somebody's going to go, like what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
on the
to me,
Ford.
I mean, I don't know. We've always been straight up about our cars. You know, we
Same
sell
as
them.
us.
Yeah, we just tell everybody what we know about them, when we bought them, what we discovered when we were doing them.
Yeah.
And this is the way it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it
can't
just-
rewind time. I say it all
No.
the time. You know, you
Doug-
can try to make it back to what it is, but if something was missing before it got there, it is what it is.
Yeah, Doug Herr helped us out with this car, because the original, some of the fiberglass was broken up, and so Doug Herr from Factory Muscle Parts, he helped us out a lot, getting pieces in. Very knowledgeable guy, and has a lot of engine stuff, you know, smog stuff, but he does also reproduction. But he
Gotcha.
can tell you whether something's I mean, a great guy for knowledge,
Awesome.
you know. So
Well, anything else specifically to this car before we move on to the other one and chat a little bit about it?
no, and I mean, unless you want to go over the paperwork or whatever.
I'm sure we're going to go through all that. We'll get you paid and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, let's just move
Well,
on
I
to
know
the
I
other
want to
one.
show you the paperwork.
We're
because,
definitely
I mean,
going to get you paid.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to show you this, because when we talked about this car, you know, so I told you I wanted a little time from the last time
Oh,
you came
gotcha.
here.
Yeah.
So here's some of the original tags that these are the original. Now some of this is reproduction, because you could get that from there's the original door tag for the car.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's an aftermarket, but here's the original build tag to the car. Now we had all new stuff made, so I found that the other day when we were looking. You know,
Awesome.
here's
Yeah,
the
this is
snake
super
oil
important to
stuff.
us.
Here's some manuals, you know. So, and then here's the Marty Arta works that I ordered, and you know, so then
Yeah.
we got
Back
the deal.
then, yep.
Here's where I bought the car, and it was transported, man, for a cost of $475 from California to here. Isn't that something? In 01.
Yeah.
So
How much
then-
was
What
it?
was that sheet?
That's what I was. Is this
Oh,
a-
that's okay.
like
So
a
that come
delivery
out.
receipt?
Well, yeah. So that was that's an. I don't know where it came from, but those are hubcaps.
Oh, okay.
You know, those are Shelby hubcaps. The guy
Oh,
had
wow.
in, yeah,
Dennis would love that
From
shit.
19 ordered in
67.
1967.
yeah,
Jeez, in Tennessee, how crazy.
yeah. So then, go past that. And then because we had talked about registrations and stuff, so I wanted to, here's my invoice from Snake Oil back in '01. Here's where Ford tells you what the car is.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Because they used to do that. There's an accessory price sheet. Now Lois Eminger, she used to be the caretaker of all these records for Ford. So here we have the factory window sticker. That came from Ford. That was the shipping invoice.
Wow.
So, and then on the back
Is this
side,
the actual one?
this is the Shelby order as well, with Galpin Motors put as put in the
super
order.
That's
cool.
super cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
So
when you said paperwork, I thought you meant let's do the title.
yeah, no.
I don't want to move on to the title.
No,
We get
no,
paid.
so I just want to show you-
see, but this stuff's different.
Right, and
So-
see, so then here's where I registered it, okay? All right. So, man, lo and behold, so we start looking, and
Somebody else has it registered?
yeah, look who's got the registration paper here. Greg Dupree. Okay, so now we find out it came out of California that Greg did own it and it was licensed during these years because you asked for that. And I had that from way back when.
Oh wow.
You know?
cool.
Does it?
Wait a minute
Or does
here.
it show
So
the
if we-
plates?
Yeah, it does show the plate
It does
number.
right there, license
Yep.
plate.
Yeah.
So if we can find those plates.
Well, there's actually companies
Right,
that make
so
those plates.
here's a place. Look at that. Greg Dupree, and there's his address and everything. So you asked for that, and I had all
yeah,
that.
look at that.
You
That's
know?
There's
amazing.
the VIN. And there's the the
Yeah.
license plate.
But
What
the
year was
only
that
thing
from?
better, the only thing
Oh, here we
better
go.
than that is going to be right
Oh!
Look at that.
No
Oh
way.
my God.
So I told you it
Hell
took me
yeah.
2 weeks to find this
That
plate.
is so awesome.
That
Even
is-
the plate, even the frames was bought at Santa Ana, right there in
Done to.
Renico.
Well, that's where it was sold on the Marty.
I know. I
Yep.
didn't know that was in
In
Santa
I just
Ana.
noticed that too.
Yeah. Very
How
cool,
amazing.
man. That is super. And they're unrestored.
That is badass. That's as badass
That's the
as it
original
gets right
plates,
there.
and those plates
That's
match
probably
that
got to
picture
be one of the
you
most
have.
epic.
That's amazing.
That was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was
That's
freaking
badass.
awesome. That
So-
couldn't have been.
He's been
played
waiting all
better.
morning to
That
do
couldn't have
that.
been played better.
Oh yeah. Well, I was because I didn't find them till yesterday.
Wow.
I'd walked past them probably 20 times, and I looked and looked and looked, and I said, "Man, my dad had put them in that front garage up there." I mean, there's pieces all over this property of these cars.
These guys know how much
That's
California plates mean.
Yeah.
I'm from California, you know.
that's
and
the shit.
We
Yeah.
look for these cars that have these plates, and to have 2 original California plates with the paperwork
Yeah.
means that this can literally go back on this car.
Yeah.
And
And the fact that it still
that is
has
super cool.
the
And
plate
look, the la-
frames
Yeah.
the last
for
time-
the dealer that's on the Marty. That's
Right.
crazy.
So you can match
Incredible.
the last time on the little tag
Yes.
to this registration.
Yes.
Yeah. See, Ford had to go through. Texas had to go through there and back check all that to make sure the car wasn't stolen.
Wow.
So that's why we had all that documentation done
Right.
back then.
And we've had to do that too. We've had to hire investigators to make sure something's
Yeah.
not stolen because it's been out of the system forever, and you don't want to be the last guy
Oh,
holding it
yeah.
when that happens. You're the loser. You lose on that deal.
Oh
the
yeah.
guy gets his car back.
And then I got one more piece. Let me.
Man, this is so cool.
That is so amazing.
That's pretty rad, Rudy. Did you know
That
about
was-
this?
We made a
He held
big
this all quiet and everything for 2 weeks?
yeah, we made a big deal about those last time we
Yeah,
were
we
here.
did.
really did, and that's why I kept looking.
That's awesome.
That is super cool.
And then
That is not a build sheet.
I found that looking.
No
Now just be real
way.
careful with it. It's tender, so.
Dude, I've only seen a few of those for these cars. Those are not very common in the Fords that I've found.
Well,
Shelby
especially
unit.
in the Shelby.
Yeah. But I mean, even like the Mustang
So-
fastbacks and stuff, we don't usually find those.
The sequence number, I don't know. The VIN number's not on it because these were folded up and taped to where the key is.
Yeah.
But everything jives up. The motor, the fan shroud number, everything. The spring colors. So this was what was given to me.
Oh yeah, tack, tinted glass.
Yeah, like we said
Yeah.
earlier, you can't rewind time. You get
Yeah.
what you get. This is, I'm over the moon. This is very, very cool.
Yeah, I
These
thought you'd
plates
like
are
that.
very
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah. The fact that nobody even restored them. That
Yeah.
they're still the original plates. But you wouldn't have had any reason to here.
No, we
'Cause you
didn't.
couldn't
Well,
use
because
them.
we just saved them, and
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I had them. I just didn't know where they were. You know, and that's why I told you it's just my mind has slipped a little bit with everything. And I mean, you can see the amounts of stuff I have. It's just everywhere.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, this is cool. I don't even think these have ever even been off of the...
No, because look at the back. That's the original plastic pieces,
You know?
yeah.
That's wild. So is this the same condition the car was in?
Yeah.
Kind of a little
I mean,
bit
the car,
like...
yeah,
just-
had a little, but it was a solid car.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, in the transmission tunnel, so they put a patch when Ford was doing the tooling for it. They actually, there's a split in the tunnel about that far, and there's a little piece of steel that they put over top of it. And Dave Riley goes, "Well, Tim, that's not right. That would have been a one piece." And I said, "Yeah, but they split the steel. That was just a patch." I mean, back then that body in white didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That didn't hurt anything. I said, "You can tell it's original to the car because it's tacked on there with a tack gun."
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
So, there's just certain things about it, and you guys have the pictures, and I have more. I just have to dig them up out of the computer of
the build and stuff. Rudy had said you have like a disc or something like that.
Well, I have a disc for the 69 on the cleanup side of it.
Okay.
But we have enough original pictures that shows the original motors in it. I mean, you can tell from everything. And it was a California car. It had one small dent in the left rear there, but I mean, other than that, that's all it was. I mean,
That's
it
amazing.
had
Yeah, I think
99,000 miles on it when we got it. It was a
Wow.
driver. And matter of fact, on the inside, I wish I could find that picture. He had the distributor cap timing, the route, and the timing number scribed in with a knife on the inner fender.
we've seen
He's just so used to getting out there and
Yeah.
messing with the plane.
Oh yeah.
like one guy had the compression written on the
Yeah,
side of
the-
the fenders on
Yeah.
on a 351 Grabber blue car that we got picked up. So yeah, wow, that's cool, man.
That's amazing.
That just took it to a whole nother level. I mean,
Yeah.
you got build sheets, you got all this stuff, paperwork, and then
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it doesn't hardly get much better than that. So that's very cool, very, very cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything
So-
else you see on there that's
Yeah. I mean, this is black. This is for a black car, and it
So
says
it's
Shelby.
so it's for at least 1 out of 36.
yeah.
Yeah.
34.
Or 34?
Yep.
Okay, 34.
I believe it to be real.
Oh,
I
I
mean, Bruce
be-
had no reason to
Yeah, no.
lie about it.
Nobody's going to
He
make that
just
up.
said,
If they did, they would have put the VIN
because
on
as
there.
it's folded up, you could see. And he said, "Tim, I couldn't save it." He said it was just.
Yeah.
It was the rats ate around it, and
Yep.
the tape. They taped it to the wiring harness that went to where the key is.
Right.
And he said, "Tim, I'm sorry, but this is what I got. But I'll take anything.
Yeah.
You know."
We just found a build sheet in a 70 Survivor Charger that we purchased last week. That the moment you find that when you're looking, because that's the first thing we do is tear a car apart and look for that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a different level of excitement. And we've actually found 2 in it. And the first one we didn't know when we pulled it, but it wasn't actually to the car. It was a
Right.
different VIN. We didn't see that, but it was like you said, all tattered and everything. The rats had got to it or whatever, the mice. And then we pulled the next one, and it was this perfect build
Oh,
sheet.
it's immaculate.
Yeah. And it was an early build, so it was still a black and white-ish one versus the real colorful, well, black, bluish, and anyway, instead of the real colorful 70, they got, it's, so the later 69s, they were built with a different build sheet, so.
Okay.
But very cool to find those,
Yeah.
for sure, and very cool to find these. That's
That's amazing.
that's pretty rad. So like W right here would be indicative of 68 when they registered it, or probably late 68, because the letters have everything to do with the year that they were
Yeah, and
registered.
the car was sold. Let's see. So it has it sold in March, right? Or no, released. It was sold in May.
May 27th, 68.
Yeah, so W would be later because it's 69 was the last year of the black and yellow plates. So
Okay.
WXYZ, and then I went to the blue plates, and so the letters are on the blue plates are here, and the numbers are here, and it started over. So 1970, you'd have A's.
Oh,
And then
okay.
70 A would be A, B, and maybe into C would be 1970, depending on the DMV, because they
Right.
release them, and then C, and then 71, 72. So yeah, people don't realize how much even the letters mean
Yeah.
to the time. Like you can't have a C or you can't have a W on a 65.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense.
Right.
So
34 automatic Shelbys came in black.
Right.
They built 183
in black.
68 GT500 fastbacks
So
in
more
black.
4-speeds.
And how many did they make total? Like 4,000?
No, they made 1,423.
Oh, 14. Dang.
Of the
That's a-
500s.
Yeah.
Now, in 68, they did 4,451, but that included KR.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
number
all
I was
Shelbys,
thinking.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And 350s.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was
Okay.
all of them.
Very
Man,
cool.
let me turn the air down a little bit. I mean, I turned it down too much. Oh, dang, sorry.
Dude.
That's amazing.
I didn't think he was going to come up with that.
No, me neither.
He said, nah, those are long gone. When we were there last time. Those are long gone.
No, I'm gonna look for it. That's amazing.
Well, it was easy to, I mean, I knew I had them, I just didn't know where, but I didn't want to lie to you and tell you that,
Yeah,
you know, hey,
That's-
we got them and all that. I mean,
much appreciated.
Yeah.
yeah, it's anybody's guess what could have happened, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
when I got 3 different buildings and things, you know.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
we're-
over 20 years.
Dude,
You
we're right-
definitely didn't
We're-
overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
No.
So I can tell you that. And most of the time, or not most of the time, but a lot of times, hey, it's this, this, and this, and you get there and it's a letdown, you know,
Yeah.
for one reason or another. And not that they intentionally did it, but it just happens.
No, but in their mind, I mean, and then.
That's the way they remembered it.
Well, and the thing is that like these cars, and it would depend the crowd you run in. So there's the rattle can crowd that, you know, they got their buddy to restore it, and he charges $80 an hour. And at that time, when all these cars were done, Bob Perkins, the best guy in the country, was $80 an hour. So why wouldn't you go to Bob Perkins?
Right.
But Bob Perkins charges you, you know, 1,000 hours. So you'll have just 80 grand just in his knowledge, that doesn't include paint.
Yeah.
You know,
And all the other all the parts and everything else that goes with
when
it.
you start asking people who restored it, and you talk about Niles Wing, who painted some of the most greatest Hemis, and he's a Chevy guy, but he's done some Boss 9s and some Cobra Dragon Snakes too and stuff. What a great guy, you know. But now he's retired,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, when you went there for a paint job, that was $45,000
Back then.
Back then.
Yeah. Today
Yeah.
it'd be.
So you tell people, and I mean, it's like when I told people, when you're talking about the 70, the original Boss 302, when I bought that, people thought I was crazy because I paid almost double what a regular 302 was worth. But where are you going to find an all original car? It's only original
Right.
once.
Right.
And so
Especially that original.
Especially that kind
Yeah.
of condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
so
a
we
whole
start-
different ballgame.
Because there's different levels of original. There's original ratty all the way up, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much like original concourse.
Yeah, and so it's like you tell people, it's like you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And so and that's why I say, and you find stuff that's been in a collection for a long time like mine, usually it has a little bit better parts to it than
Yes.
the stuff that's been done last
Stripped
year.
and went
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
auction 3 times to get the best parts. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you had said stuff like that before.
Oh yeah.
Well, any more surprises on this
No,
one?
this car.
I'm kind of calming down just a little
Yeah.
bit. That's pretty
amazing.
I
rad.
mean, I think I'm glad we pulled it out so you could see all the way around it.
Yeah.
If you put it up on a lift, it looks as good underneath as it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we climbed all around it, but it was back here, so
Yeah, a little
it was a
tough.
little bit tight and stuff. But you can tell just by looking at a car like
Yeah.
this that
You don't need to see
you
very
know,
much
the
of it.
level of quality, and then talking to you and you telling us about it and how they were built and stuff. And a lot of this stuff we obviously didn't get last time because we didn't have anything rolling. But just your knowledge, sharing your knowledge. I know you're not going to put together a substandard car.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
have kept a substandard car in here for 25 years.
No,
for no
it's
reason.
Like the gauges,
This is your personal
those
collection.
Are a set of NOS gauges that came from Stuart Warner that they were, so, and
Wow.
then we had, so there was some pitting and rust around the outside bezels, and so we had those redone. There was a guy in Michigan that did, Dave Riley got me that guy that did that, and now he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Dave's still with us, thank God. Matter of fact, but he's a great guy, but he's a nuts and bolts guy. He could tell you. I mean, he was with AMK in the early days.
Wow.
And now AMK has run out of the original stuff. I mean, they bought it by the barrels back then from Ford. I mean, anything that was left over, if they found the manufacturer, but now a lot of that stuff is reproduced.
Gotcha.
Crazy.
So,
Wow. Very, very
That's
cool.
nuts.
Yeah. All right, so
now we go down.
429.
Talking about some
Yeah.
tacos.
Now we're over here to the old Boss 9.
no, that's just, I don't know, man. It's going to take me.
Well, that's my
it's probably-
love-hate car.
This
I
is
mean-
probably going to take me a couple weeks to even calm down from.
Yeah,
I'm
that's my
shocked.
love-hate car because I bought that car. The kids were little. Trevor and Troy were little, and man, we've been through a lot with that car and a lot of rip-offs, a lot of bad times.
We've had a lot of rip-offs too.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that car
everybody
was
in this
painted,
industry that's
10 times to get it where it is now.
oh
Wow.
my gosh.
And then every time you went somewhere else, nobody would touch it unless they
They
stripped
took it all down.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, we just got a car back from paint that looks like a 5th grader did it.
Yeah.
And we paid stupid money for a 5th grader paint job, and he made it sound like he was going to paint us like this.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that, that car's a great car, but it's slick and shiny. That's what we call, the Earl Shop Special. It's slick and shiny, This car, painted kind of in the same concept. There's only a few people. There's probably 5 people that I know of in the United States that can paint with orange peel. Bob Perkins is probably far the best guy in the country. That can put it back as looking more original than anybody.
So explain that, because most people want pretty. And we have a Daytona that's painted with that, and we took it to a car show, and everybody was sitting there talking about it, and they're like, oh my gosh, like it had overspray markings and stuff in there, because it was done back to factory. And they sit down, and I'm sitting there next to them, and they're talking about it, and I look at them, and I said, it's the most correct restored Daytona in the world, according to some experts.
Right.
So explain that with this,
So like when you go to a car show with this, you would lose points on the paint, because while there's a little bit of what we call golf ball or orange peel, if you took an orange and you looked at the dips and curves and the valleys in it, that's what paint did back then. Because when it was painted, it went through a heat lamp booth. It was several hundred feet long, and it dried. Well, when it contracted, it started looking like the outside of a golf ball or an orange. And so you had those dips and valleys. And so you could not duplicate that. There's very few people that can duplicate it, because the paints have now gotten to where you can almost spray them and they just lay out flat by themselves.
You have
now
to make
we're in the waterborne years. So this car was done with an acrylic lacquer back in the time, and then and that's the problem with it. It's just, it was great for the time, but now it's just, there's far better paints. So you would lose points on this because it's too slick.
Okay.
If you went to a car show, like you could never get.
Gotcha. So this doesn't have enough orange peel.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough orange peel.
Gotcha.
That car definitely wouldn't get it.
No.
That's just
You can't do that.
Yeah. So we built that car as a driver car.
Yeah.
Never drove it.
Yeah, we have one Daytona that's pretty, done to the, sanded, block sanded, and everything, and perfect, like what you're saying about this one. And then the other one, it literally has that perfect orange peel, which.
Yeah, this car won't have, but I mean, we bought this car. This car, I bought this one. I actually bought the 68 first, and then I had bought another 70 and sold that car to Bill Herndon, and then I upgraded to this car. And TJ Flatley, Bob Perkins brokered the sale for this from TJ Flatley. He was a doctor up in Wisconsin, and he also had this car, this Boss 9.
Gotcha.
And so we have the original pictures of this car being found in a trailer park.
You showed us that. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was actually going to see if you could show that so we could put.
I have them.
Oh, you actually have them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go?
In then,
okay.
or we'll just put them in.
Yeah.
Right.
But those were
but
cool.
There's another surprise there too. But man, it's just I forgot I had all this stuff. And anyways, so they found the car. The guy sold the car out of that. Matter of fact, they were looking for another car in the trailer park when they found this car. It was buried up in some boxes under a little awning next to the guy's trailer. And so they bought the car, and it's gone through a few hands. And then TJ got it, and then he paid Bob to fix up everything. I don't know that Bob painted this car. Bob did some freshening up on it and sold him a bunch of parts. We've got some invoicing in there from back then, the parts being 12 to 15 grand.
Gotcha.
Some NOS stuff. So the car's got a lot of good NOS stuff on it.
Wow.
It was built as a show car, so it's non-running. It's never ran.
Yeah. So this car's never been fired.
Yeah.
And it was restored in the late 90s.
This was the late 90s, 98 to 90. And then I bought the car somewhere around, I'm guessing 01, 02. Maybe as late as 04, much later than that. And then I took it to Dave Riley because I wanted Dave to tweak everything because it had some wrong nuts and bolts and all that.
And he's the one that circled all those things in the pictures.
No, Ed Myers.
Oh, that's right.
Guy.
Sorry.
So if you ever meet Ed Myers, and Ed Myers and Bob Perkins are like two Rams. I mean, they don't agree on a lot, but if you can take the knowledge from each,
right,
and you combine it, they're two of the biggest minds. I mean, they know every part, Ed can sit there, and I just sent him those pictures, and he sent them back in a pizza box, and he circled everything, threw them in a pizza box, and mailed me the pizza box, and said, hey, here's what's wrong with your car. And so I gave that to Dave, and Dave ran with it. Dave's a great guy. I got some help from Doug Herr. Doug and I became good friends. He's still in business with Factory Muscle Parts. And but just those guys have so much knowledge on this stuff. You
Yeah.
know, if I had to go hands down mechanical wise, it would be Doug Herr. I mean, he could tell you everything about a car, whether the heads were right, whether this manifold's right or wrong, or you know. But then to collect the parts that are on this car still has the original battery with it. It's got a crack in it because it froze up in the guy's trailer park, but
Gotcha.
so it's still got the original battery. So when it shows that battery, I mean, you lose point, but this car's never lost a point for a battery, you know.
Gotcha.
So,
now on this car, if somebody, I'm not saying we're going to, because I don't think we're actually going to start it either. We're going to leave it the way it is. But is there steps that have been done on a car like this throughout the years to keep it like the internals like rolling it, turning it over, anything like that, or it's just sat the way it was?
It just sat the way it was. Nobody's ever touched it. I mean, it does roll because if you put it in gear, it does turn.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we had to. I had to put the right distributor and the carburetor on it, and I did that yesterday. I told you I would.
Yes.
So it is the right. It had a well, I'm not going to say aftermarket. It had a '79 dated carb on it.
Okay.
That when I took it to Dave's, I left it like that because that's the way I had bought it.
Right.
But I got the true August. This car was built in October. An August dated carburetor on it,
Okay.
and I got the August dated distributor.
Awesome.
Wow.
And so when you look at the distributor, it looks crusty as hell. And because I wanted to show you this.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's
No, it is. It's crusty. Look back here. But that's a true Z12
Tim's
diaphragm.
definition of crusty.
Yeah, but that's a true Z12. You won't find that diaphragm.
Wow.
I don't know who you're going to send that to get it redone.
But
It needs a shaft put in it because the shaft had a crack in the end.
okay.
So we had to spin it up to get it to drop down in there. But you have to send it to somebody that you trust
Yeah.
because they'll steal that diaphragm. That diaphragm is probably worth $1,000 if you could find one.
Wow.
I mean, just the distributor alone is $35,000 to $4,000. The carburetor that I put on here is $4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
I
The
mean,
parts are crazy. On
yeah,
these
that's
cars.
why I say I wanted it to have the right stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
This thing looked
Most
like it
guys
was
would have
restored
just
yesterday.
put those in the
Yeah,
cabinet
restored-
and
yeah.
never
Yeah,
said
so-
anything.
so
and
I
we're
know
dumb
that-
Mopar guys, so we would have never known
No.
the
Yeah,
been
just
the
like
wiser.
This, I mean, this is the original cap, and I mean,
Dumb and Mopar
Dave-
guys in the same sentence?
Yeah, when you see that dip in there, and I said that's why I say this car has so many good parts on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what makes the car, you know, a great car. You
Yes.
know, to me.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
No,
So,
absolutely.
and it's got original polyglass on it,
That's
and that's the same polyglass that you put on a Hemi.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So,
Now, they made 570 429s, right? 500 and in 69 it was 800? Or 750?
850
Oh,
and
850.
69.
Okay, 850. So I mean 500, but like 300 and something were grabber blue, right?
I believe it was a popular color.
287, I think.
287 and
In
is it 287 that were white interior
Grabber blue
and
didn't come
then
till
some with
No, so it was 287
Total?
total
Okay.
grabber blue cars.
60 something are black interior?
64, I think, were black
Okay,
interior.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know those numbers because I never got the Marty like this on this one. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah, the black interiors.
rotating.
I mean, obviously blue is not rare because they made half of them blue,
Was that considered deluxe though? This black
or not half, but
Because I know
Yeah.
Half.
that's deluxe, right?
yeah. I
Well-
think if you break it down to all the different options.
No,
and
the
stuff,
deluxe door panel, the deluxe door panels are the Mach 1 ones that have the wood
Gotcha,
grain
okay.
in the middle. So I think this is standard interior. Because, like,
he can tell us more.
oh no, see, that one's got the other one too. But you know how, on a 70 Mustang, like what
Yes.
we're doing right now, it's got
Yes.
the wood grain.
Yes.
That's deluxe
Yes.
interior.
Yeah, we're having to.
And I just
swap.
learned that because I just ordered those
You
door
order-
panels.
Like I said, we learn as we go. When we get something, we learn a lot about that. So,
Right.
But yeah,
But just like the moldings, and I mean the hoses on this, and just, I mean, it's got a lot of great stuff. And I mean, back in the day when it was restored with the parts that it was restored with, you just can't. I mean, there's not one Bob Perkins would be, him and Ed Myers may be the only two people in the country that have enough parts to do a complete Boss 9.
Okay, so they built 62 grabber blue black interior cars. They built 210
210.
grabber blue white interior cars.
So 273.
So 272
272.
total in grabber blue.
And out of the 500, so more
Out of-
than half
We're
for this
painted
color
grabber blue.
But when you talk about the color of this car, that's what makes this car rarer.
The color of the
I
interior.
mean, the cars are rare anyway. They only
Yeah.
made 500 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 500 of them. 69 was 850. So
Yeah, see, when I looked up the interior, so the seats are deluxe.
With the wood grain badges.
Yeah, but the door panels, I don't know about the door panels, but I know the seats are deluxe interior seats. That's what it shows. But we got the Marty report will show that, wouldn't it? It has deluxe interior.
I never ordered a Marty for this.
we never,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
we didn't order it.
I've never had one either. But
We'll
I mean,
order one when we get back.
Yeah.
We normally do, but we ordered them for the other cars, but we didn't order them for these.
Yeah, I didn't have the. We didn't have the VINs
Yeah,
until we
didn't
got
have
here.
the VINs.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's amazing. This car's awesome.
Both of them.
Yeah.
What I learned too is what I didn't know is that you could only get Magnums on a Boss car. Like in 1969, they came standard on a Boss, but you couldn't get any other Mustang with Magnums on it.
Yeah,
so
they
when he
had
was
to put
telling
them
us
on.
about the big hole, small hole,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you can probably go on Craigslist and buy a set of those. That's
No.
not the case at all. You could literally only get Magnums on a Mustang in 1969 and 70 on a Boss. They were standard on 429s, and you could get them ordered on a 302, correct?
Yes.
But nothing else.
you had to-
So every dude that's got Magnums on a Mustang, they didn't come like that.
But did they make extras and sell them at the
They
at
did.
the dealership?
There was-
Not like the engines where they didn't have any
So
extras.
there's where you get into the Ford dilemma. Was it a factory part or was it a service part? So you could go to a dealer and he might have had a DO designation on this or a C9 on that part number, and when you pull them out, it could be a 71 in there, but the part number showed 69, 70. But a lot of times, whatever they left at the factory went out as service parts. So that's why, Bob Perkins actually found a couple sets in a dealership that were the small hole Magnums.
Ah, okay.
So those are the guys in the early 80s. Him and Jim Coles from, and Jim's passed on, got cancer and died, but a great guy, a big Shelby guy. But they were scouring the country back in the day when nobody else was collecting this stuff.
Yeah, they could go to a swap meet and notice, hey, this is
Yeah.
a nothing wheel, and they
Yeah.
look almost identical.
Well, because, and then Mopar, and there were some cars built with 14-inch Magnums.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, and it's like, oh, that kind of looks like it, but it's not it.
not the
you know?
same,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It'd be funny
know.
though, how many cars we've sold, over the years, right? And how many may have went with like factory wheels that we didn't even know any different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
going
that-
to say anything, but and the car was sold to a guy in California, a real prominent collector, and then when they rolled the Boss 9 off, the caps fell off. They were the small
the
hole caps
on a big hole wheel.
And it was a little perturbed. He paid a lot of money for that car,
Yeah.
So that's why I say you have to watch stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
and that's why I say if you've owned the car long enough and you've had people in it, its flaws. And,
Yeah.
and you should just go ahead and honor, and tell people what they're getting.
yeah, no, you told us that two of these wheels are the
The passenger
wrong-
side
yeah.
of Big Hole. Yeah.
Okay.
But Doug has a set of small hole Magnums, and you probably have, and there's people that restore those now that cut them
Yeah.
apart and restore them.
What's a set of these, the correct ones? What would they run in today's world?
Man, I don't know if you could
Like in OE condition, not nice,
I
not
don't know.
not
I
nice,
mean,
but project
I don't
wheels.
10,000.
Really?
Yeah, for a set of small. Well, because it only fits.
Wow.
Maybe we should buy those.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you get, but now when they're redone and everything, they're only original once. And I mean, just like the plating, when you look at the plating, and some of these this is okay, but when you look at some of them, they'll be plated so heavy that it was redone.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is to find the guy that can do a heavy do the nickel and stuff on it so it gets a light coat of chrome on it to look more factory.
Yeah.
And that's the guys like Perkins and Myers and Riley, all these old time guys, they know.
They know exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Just like the colors and stuff, the phosphates and the zinc coatings and stuff, and they know what's what. When you get somebody that's not in that's just throwing a car together, you can immediately tell it. When I go to meet them and you just look down and I just keep walking, and like Troy or Trevor would be like, "What? Why'd you keep walking?" I said, "It's not worth looking at."
Yeah.
You can just tell somebody just hatched it together. So if you get underneath it, what's the rest of it look like?
Yeah.
So, but
That's
no, what a
crazy.
great car. But yeah, TJ bought the car, and then I bought it from them, and Bob had straightened it out somewhat for him, and But going back in my mind, I don't believe Bob painted the car. I believe
Gotcha.
that the other guys did, and whoever TJ had it done by, I don't know who, but Bob had straightened it out. But I've got the stuff on it.
I know the thing that we were the most excited about this one was when we walked in, we saw the black interior.
Oh yeah, we had
because it being such a it's one
we
third.
we had just been schooled on that
Yeah.
a few months prior.
From a guy that we met, Rick, up in Missouri. And he was like, "You find one with black interior, you got something,
Yeah.
versus the white."
He's
because
like
of how
everybody and their
all of them
mother's
have
got
the
one with white interior.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Yeah.
we walk in, we see this, we're like, "Oh man, it's a black interior car."
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's a rare car for sure.
Because we had only seen pictures, we hadn't seen
Like from here, and you
we
couldn't
didn't
see the
actual car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a cool car.
yeah.
A very cool car. Both of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
But-
All of them.
But yeah, this car. So, anyways, so here's. Oh, I guess it
Oh,
does
there's a
have.
Marty.
Okay, there's a Marty. So, in St. Charles, Illinois, you got to remember that, okay? But it doesn't say
Looking for
about
that.
the paint and trim code 194, But I mean,
Yeah.
so it had that paint, and
Yep.
but the trim was, it could have been, who knows,
That doesn't say deluxe interiors. That is the standard.
Yeah. I don't believe it did, but I mean,
10, 19,
that's just me.
Oh, I missed your birthday by a day.
Oh shit. And a few years.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Okay.
that right here?
Well, let's talk
Hey,
about-
hey,
Okay,
Hey.
so here's the where
Oh, there's-
Shelby.
God.
there's the shipping invoice.
All right, so that's
This never happened.
That's Lois Eminger's handwriting, and she's dead, and Kevin doesn't have a lot of this stuff, so he only has copies. She kept copies of everything, but that's where it was shipped to Zimmerman Final.
Wow.
So it went over to Carcraft.
Two?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So it went to Carcraft, and then it went to Zimmerman.
The documentation on these cars.
Well, that was the big thing. That's the thing I'm talking about.
No, I know.
The difference
Nobody
in the
usually has
collectors.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Perkins has got a whole lot more than this. And then there's a little deal there. And then here's all the receipts. Here's the receipts from Perkins. And you just look at the prices. The air filter was $200. Magnum
And this was in
500 wheel protector.
1990, dude.
1990, yeah.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
So this car's restored in 89, 90.
89 to 90. 88 to 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal. And then
Never
here's-
been ran.
Never been ran.
And look at it.
I know.
And then here's some stuff that he faxed TJ. All right, here's the original build sheet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. But then here we go. Now, I don't want you to lift that just yet.
So it
yeah,
does have black.
440.
Yeah. So here's some pictures.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
our friend
Yeah,
again.
Yeah,
Man.
there's there's Melvin. Oh,
Yeah.
look at those with the side,
Side
pipe.
pipes.
We're
Yeah.
gonna put side pipes back on.
So
it,
here's
right?
our motor.
Oh
So we know that it's
my
the
God.
original motor. I mean, it was found with the
Yes.
original motor. Here's the original interior.
Yeah.
So you can see the seats.
The
you can
seats,
see
the door panels. Yep.
So that's original.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
That's original dust.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Here's
Aw.
his puppy.
Aw.
And now we got a puppy
Rest,
shop.
rest in peace.
Yeah, so this is at somebody's house when they unloaded it. But look at the paper behind. That's where people put all that paper.
Yeah.
And then there was the sell and dealer sticker. Here's the guys that found it, I think. I don't know if these guys found it or bought it.
They look cold.
Here's Melvin again.
And this is the guy you bought it from?
No, that's the original owner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Here's another couple pictures of the motor. So you can tell everything about this car is legit. you
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're talking about the titles, and how cool is it that you have the original
Oh
title with
my
his trailer court
gosh.
name on it?
You're full of surprises today.
Yeah,
Millard.
man.
Millard.
Millard. Eldon E. Millard.
Eldon E. Millard.
And look at it. He was at the Archer Trailer Court.
Oh my God.
I wonder if that guy's still alive.
I know, right?
In Illinois.
Date issued 1979.
Yep.
That's a corrected title though.
Yeah, and he had
So,
a, and he had a
and
lien,
it probably
and he had a
still
lien on it.
says
For $1,400 was the lien.
Yep. But look at
Oh,
78.
they used to
Yeah.
put your social security number on the title.
Yep.
But right here it says date of purchase 2/26.
1970. Purchased
New.
new.
Yeah. Yeah, he bought it new.
That's
he
hilarious.
just got a new
There's
title.
There's a
corrected
line.
title.
There's a line for horsepower, but it looks like they put the dollar amount in it.
No, that's the horsepower. 52.3. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
That's
per
kind of a-
cylinder?
I don't know.
What's
That was
5 times 8?
Yeah,
Yeah, that might be
400.
right.
There's the price.
Yeah.
Well,
What
that's
does that say?
that's 1,400.
Well,
so is that
I
when you
think
got the
he
lien
borrowed
for?
money because He look at it. Went
Did
to
he
personal
refinance it?
He refinanced it.
Well, he had to make his payment then.
I think that's why they corrected the title. It's an original, but see, January 22nd, 1979.
Yeah. But it says he bought it new, man. That's crazy.
That is wild.
Got a
That
little
is
signature
super
on the
cool.
back, so you can go transfer it if you
And
want.
there's the date that he sold it.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. No, that's
He
wait.
signed off on it.
No, this was
That's
when
the thing.
when they released the lien.
Oh,
In
gotcha.
80.
Oh, he paid it off
He must
pretty
have borrowed
quick.
money against it.
Eldon
cool.
Millard, man, check that.
Very, very
Oh my
cool.
God. There's Honest Abe on the
Yeah, the
front,
paperwork
dude.
on both of these cars.
There's no
can't
original
beat
bill
that.
of sale. I have the original bill of sale on that car, but I don't have no
Wow.
original bill of sale on this stuff.
This
Yeah.
well, just the sheet is amazing.
Well, this stuff right here too. This sheet's amazing.
Yeah, this is
Even
what
this stuff
is
right
what
here.
Marty sent us on the red one.
Right.
Yeah.
But to have
The two I know,
because
and
they,
then look
they
and
sent
then
two on that too,
Yeah,
right?
but look and see the crazy thing is that Shelby care
Yeah.
of Carcraft
Yeah.
is where it was ordered to originally to get the Boss
Right,
Night treatment.
and then when they
and
shipped
then
it to
shipped
Zimmerman-
to the dealer.
To the dealer.
Very cool.
J is blue. TA is black interior.
But at least you can see from the pictures that was a standard
What's
door
that mean?
car.
The shocks were white.
Oh, the shocks.
Yeah.
The
you gotta
rears were
remember back
orange?
then, I mean, I don't know if you know the assembly line at all, but so back
We're
then,
learning.
people weren't really educated, so they had build sheets.
Yes.
So it said white shocks, so there was a white paint daub on the shocks. So you went to that bin, you got those shocks, and you put it on the car.
Gotcha.
So that's why all these color codes, because when you went to get
And that's why you
set
see all
shocks-
that stuff on
Yeah.
different cars when they're built to factory
And so
spec.
today, we went to BMW, and you go to the BMW factory, everything is barcode. So it tells you the serial number, and get the battery XYZ, and you go over and scan it, and it tells them that you got the right battery and you're putting it in the car.
Wow.
You know, so the paint codes were that they had to have that. But there's
Yeah.
been times when things have gotten a little crazy at lunchtime and they put the wrong spring in.
That definitely happened. They were definitely not. It was not a perfect assembly line.
And then when Dave Riley, this is the CD, when he cleaned up the car, there's a lot of the stuff that he did underneath of it, and it just shows that.
Okay.
So, you know, so he tightened stuff up, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
I'm messing this up.
Any more surprises, Tim?
No, that's it. I mean, that's it. I found the original. So back here at the back of the
That's
car.
it. 2 hours later of surprises, right? That's it.
Yeah. That's it, man.
I'll take it.
So I did find this is the original battery. It's in a reproduction box, but that is the original battery to
Okay.
the car. Here's the Space Saver spare.
Yes.
This came on the car. In the pictures that you have when it was at
Yes.
Bob's, it had that sticker on there. The rim looks like ass underneath.
Okay.
It's blowing up and everything, but we didn't touch it. You know, that's just how it
How it
is.
was.
But that is a 775.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't transport it in the car like
No,
that.
no. I'm with you 100%.
But you know,
Yeah. We'll put it in the trailer.
Where's the battery?
huh? Right there.
here. Right here.
Oh.
No, it's
we
a
look
little
at it?
heavy.
Can we look at it?
Yeah, yeah. So you can take it. You can open it up.
I don't think I've ever seen
Pull
it.
it on out.
Oh shit. Watch out, pal.
It's got the caps and the vent tube, but the vent tube was broke off. Those are the original caps. You know.
Gosh.
What? The original battery.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to look much worse than that.
Oh yeah, no, it's not bad.
It's
We
crusty.
touched
It's
up the
crusty
red on it.
according to Tim.
We touched, yeah.
Dude, that's. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a battery from 1960 or from 1970.
No, usually they're already been recycled.
It was 30 times over.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing
Yeah.
about this car to me is that the original
The
battery.
original battery.
That guy in 19 whatever when he bought it in the trailer park was like, we should stick that battery in a box and hang on to it. That they knew, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. People did weird. Some, like very fractional people, did some weird
They
stuff.
just happened
that
to,
worked
yeah,
out.
they knew what
That
they
is
were,
that
yeah.
is.
Yeah. They were
But-
early adopters of stuff like that. That's amazing.
I just can't even believe this car's restored that long, both of them. Like, that's a long time for them to be restored.
1980 though.
Yeah.
89 or
89
yeah.
in the 80s. It looks
You know.
pretty close to Concourse to me. I mean, it's
for
that's a
being
nice
done when
looking
it was,
car.
I mean, and with Bob not painting the car, if Bob would have painted that car, it would have had.
It would have had the orange,
orange peel.
Yeah.
Bob is not painting a car without a warranty. I mean, Bob's a great. I mean, you have to, if you go to his place, you'll look and you're looking and you're, man, I don't think that's right. Let me take a picture and send it to somebody. And it's like, man, I don't know. Bob is one of the best. I mean, he's probably hands down one of the top restorers in the country. He's got to be the best.
Gotcha.
I mean, he's been doing it so long. I mean, he was back in the 70s, late 70s and 80s. A lot of these parts you could buy at a place called Muscle Parts there in Michigan. You could still buy plug wires and all that. Now a set of boots for these, run you $1,500. You know, so.
The price on OEM factory original parts is just out. You add all that up, I mean, the car is almost free.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's why I say
the restoration and the parts, the car is almost free.
This car here, we have well over what you paid for this car in it. But
I know that because I've built them.
Yeah, but when you tell people, that, hey man, it's been painted all these times, and I paid $20,000 for the paint job, and I gave $30 for the car when I bought it.
Yeah.
So,
And again, this was in 2000 or 2000?
In one.
Yeah.
2001, I give $30 for the car.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I say, I mean, it's a great thing. That one I give, when I bought that car, I give $80. But that was back when people were like, "Oh, you're crazy. I would not. Oh, those cars are going for $50,000. You can't give them away." But I seen, and I knew what the car was, and I thought, "Oh man, well, I like the car."
Yeah.
I didn't buy these for an investment.
Yeah. No.
You don't ever buy a car for an investment.
They worked out in some cases for a lot of people, but yeah, they cost a lot to keep going and store. I mean, you had an AC bill here for 20-something years, and you don't even factor in
from Haggerty's
all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff.
But and then the one great part about this car. Now this is a factory original trunk mat, and if you can find one of those are about $3,500 now
for a mat.
Yeah, for a mat. But there was, like I said, there's some aspects of this car really great, and then some stuff we had to use repo on.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the stuff that's repo, you can't even tell it because the quality was so much better back then.
Gotcha.
New
old stock repo.
Yeah. I mean, but when people tell you, and it's just like dealing with Doug Herr, when you deal with him, he's straight up. He does both. He manufactures both. He has both. But he'll tell you, hey, this is what I can do for this mount. This is what I can do. I got an original set. I mean, just like he's got a set of small hole magnums. Now, you're buying the car that he wanted, so I don't know. If he'll sell them to you or not. But, I mean, everything has a price.
We actually know of a set, that's actually here somewhere in this area.
Are they dated, though? What's the date on them?
We'll have to find. According to our friend, they were the original wheels to a Boss we already owned. The red one I sent you the video on.
Yeah.
Those wheels actually came off of that car.
Yeah, because usually you'd like to stay in within a 90-day period of the car build day.
Right.
So that's why, like when I was searching for a carburetor, I mean, it took me, when I bought that carburetor, it was $1,500 before it was done.
Right.
And the distributor was, I think, $1,250 at the time, and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and money was way different.
Yeah, I mean, and now here's the problem is that you have to have parts to trade because your money's no good. You can be, I mean, Mark Timken has money, and he can't buy things, but he can trade, and that's where a lot of people are doing now is they'll trade carburetors or distributors for a wheel or, like the front spoiler and, stuff like that. Those spoilers, they threw those in a dumpster when they got through over at CarCraft, and Dave Riley knows the story. But Dave Riley worked at that place, and they sold all that hot rod stuff, and they had a lot of this. They had Boss heads, they had Boss motors. I mean, but all that stuff faded away, and here we are.
A lot of stuff was lost over.
So
time.
are the big or small hole magnums harder or easier to find, one or the other?
Big hole's easier to find because they carried them into 71.
Okay.
And so, but then they went with a different cap. So you notice on this side, it's got the small hole cap.
And I'm sorry, tell me again which ones these should have?
This should have the small hole.
It should have small hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be right back.
See, look at this one. This is a big hole cap. So when you hold it up to the small hole, now it's an original cap because you can tell by the cork.
Okay.
So that's original, but when you hold it up to this one, you see the difference in size?
Oh, yeah,
It won't really fit it, So that's why I say, that's what you got to look for when you get these, And people ask you, are you big hole or are you small hole? But
you always want to be small hole.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, but if and then look at the date code on them too, because they'll be date coded.
Where's the date code is on the
inside of the rim,
on
and
the-
it'll
on
be
the back-
punched out.
on
It'll give you a month, a date, and a year
on the barrel or on the inside, like on the back side?
on the back side
Okay.
of the rim. And so it's important that you get those, whether they're date coded correct for this car or not, because you might be able to trade them for a set that is, and somebody may need those. You need. That's why I'm telling you the parts, just the parts in this building. That's why I collected all these years, because
Yeah.
I could trade. You know,
Yep.
you could, just like the smog system on that, to get those hoses. Even though, I mean, you look at the texture on them, you can't get this hose reproduction like that. I
Yeah.
mean, that don't exist.
That's amazing.
You know.
NOS tires. That's the
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, so you
No-
get these
nobody
tires
has
here.
those.
No, and those may be a second run, and they're date coded, and Perkins can decode it. But where are you going to find a Goodyear tire from 1970? You know, oh, there's another set over there on the back wall.
Yeah.
I forgot, yeah.
And you have the
I have
size
and-
ones.
and
Yeah.
no size.
Those are the
Yeah, I
crazy
got
ones.
2 sets of no sized and a sized, and then one set of no sized. So
So is that car an Sporn with tires?
yes.
Wow.
No, those would be the second set I would.
Okay.
Because 6,000 miles. I mean,
True.
that set of tires didn't last. You know, so they
True.
burned them off.
True.
You know, but this is a cool car just because of what it is. You know, with it being an original car. You know,
Yeah, it's just amazing.
so. Everything about it is day one. You know, just like they drove. It's 6,000 mile car.
Look at the oil filter. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Even the battery. Now the battery is dated late '69. So, but it is a real battery. It's too early for the car. But one day maybe I'll find a guy that's got one with a better date. You know.
Yep.
That orange coat, there's no difference in that.
No.
That's
Yeah.
No, and when you can see the weld marks, not the weld marks, but the filler in the pillars.
Yeah.
And you see how different it is in the paint on the back when you
Yeah.
start looking at all that. You can tell. I mean, Bob Perkins has, I believe, the lowest mileage one in the country.
But that one had been painted, right?
I don't. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't. Bob, they accuse Bob of all the time.
Yeah.
But you can see where the filler is right here.
Yeah.
But that's just factory. I mean.
That's
But to
incredible.
replicate this, oh man, there's just a few but Niles could do it.
And like you were saying, all this back here, how they did the painting on this,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people don't do it. That's certain cars had it.
Yeah, because unless you have something to go off of,
Right.
and I mean, and then the problem is now is that you have people replicating a Dearborn car, and it was a Metuchen car, and the Metuchen car is a way different car.
Yeah.
Things about it was all different. That wasn't like that. These are all factory batteries. There's a Shelby battery in there, and there's some different stuff. I had reproductions because they were talking about not making them anymore.
And there's nothing you have to do to these batteries. You just leave them just in the box the way they are. You just
Yeah, because
leave
they're
them.
brand new. They've never had acid in them.
Oh, gotcha.
They're
Okay.
the original Autolite batteries.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing was ever poured in them.
No. So.
Damn.
Yeah. And then here's the carburetors, and I have all the distributors. But I collected this stuff, and then I would send out the carburetors to either Joe Bunatek or Mike Allray, and then they would restore them for me, and the distributors and stuff.
Some people collect baseball cards. You collect
Yeah, my
carburetors
kids,
and
we used to go to swap meets. They'd run around and look for Boss. I gave them the number for the Boss 9302 fuel pumps, and Troy actually found one there in Houston. It was a 71 dated one, but hey, it's a Boss fuel
Hey,
pump.
you'll take it.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then, I mean, it's kind of like a sickness, you just collect it, and it just, And I
Yeah.
mean, there's everywhere you look in here, there's parts,
Oh yeah, you got plug wire
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah. So, early 69, early 70. So, but, I mean, it's just, this stuff is just, like I say, you can't get it anymore. Now, like AMK, I don't know if they're still doing the alternators, but those were original Autolite alternators, and they're making a reproduction one now. So when you sent them in, they would redo them for you and stamp them and send them back to you. And so we still have some of those.
See where we have all those alternators in that
In bins
Buttons
and
and bins.
bins.
and
The straight 6 cars.
Yeah, no. But you use the pieces.
That's because we don't know which one's for the straight
But
6.
see,
We're learning.
That's the same thing though, but it's just like this distributor. So this is like I'm telling you. So this is a 71 dated dual point. But if this was a Motorcraft, so they still made the Motorcraft, the D2s that have the same shaft and gear and everything. So we were buying all the stuff that nobody wanted for $20. It's got the right weights, the right shaft, the right gear. So you could rebuild a distributor.
The only other people that I know of that can go to the swap meet, like what you were talking about with your sons, is Tony and his dad and Dan.
Yeah.
The rest of us would walk up and go, it's a carburetor.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that Doug Herr's been at a swap meet and he sees something and he can make something out of it. Or he'll get it for now he doesn't stamp the bowl or whatever, the air horn, but hey, maybe the plates in it are for something. Or he'll notice a plate, oh, that goes to a Boss 9, let me get that carb.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
that's what you're looking for is that guy. That's who you want to go to the swap meet with.
Yeah.
They're just tootling down the road and, oh, yeah, I know that,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I've been with Dan several times. He's a buddy of mine. He's pretty well versed with lots of parts and stuff like that. Like Tony and his dad, they tweak on the parts. He's been tweaking on parts since he was probably like 4 or 5. And we'll go to the swap meet, walking around, and he'll be able to boop, 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 boop. So it's kind of
just
cool.
like rim blow wheels. So when you find a wheel that's not all cracked up, they can rebuild that wheel.
Yeah.
And on the backside, there's a date code on it.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking for. That's the sickness. Like a Bob Perkins. Bob Perkins is probably one of the sickest people in the world because he'll go to the infinite end of the world to find the part for his car. And that's why through all the years, anything you buy from Bob Perkins right now, at the end
It is it.
Yeah, that is it. That's
Yeah.
the best that can be done,
Yeah.
And
He
it's
sold
just-
off the stuff over the years that wasn't the
yeah,
best, and he
he
kept
sold
all
all
the
the stuff
best.
that kept him going. So
Yeah.
everything but like
Rotated.
he would look at the best alternator and say, okay, well I'm gonna keep this one for my car. So when he did some of the last cars was some of his most expensive cars to do, but they were the best cars that he did.
Gotcha.
You know? And then here's that box I wanted to show you with all the cigarette lighters and stuff in it, and the Boss 9 lighter and stuff like that. So
Old matches.
people collected
That's
that
cool.
stuff through the years.
That's amazing.
So
And look at the keychains.
you got Parnelli Jones. So Parnelli Jones
Yeah.
had his own dealership and stuff.
See?
Yeah, and those are all original stickers,
What's up with the modern Ford key down here?
I don't know.
Is it an
I think
evolution
my
of
kid
time?
stuck that in there. no, that's a Boss 9. But these
Yeah, that
that's the
stuff's
latest
amazing.
stuff. That's the
Links and
latest,
stuff,
latest
yeah.
Shelby.
But like Tongue Sole made all the lights, the headlights. So see, that's another thing. That's why
okay.
you look at all those headlights that I have. So you mix and match the dates on those because they're dated as well.
Right.
Yeah.
You
all
know.
of that stuff.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Crazy.
So that's
How
why I
freaking
say.
cool.
I mean, you just don't see this stuff. Nobody collects this stuff anymore. You know.
Right.
And then all the magazines I have from '70, all the accessory, but that's all real stuff that I collected through the years.
Can you tell us about the jackets?
So the jackets came. Bob Perkins got me started on that. So I went there and and he had a jacket, and I said, "Oh man, that's kind of great, about these jackets." But they're all legit. So we started collecting those, and so every time I would go to a swap meet, and you find one, and so that's a real jacket, and this one was made by Great Lakes. Great Lakes was one of the manufacturers for Autosport. And here's another one
That's
that was
amazing.
made by Nick or something, but these are all legit.
So you'd walk into the dealership and that'd be hanging on the on
and-
the
or you
parts
could get
rack.
them- They would have them at the Trans Am meets and stuff like that, So,
Yeah, I found a couple jackets at the swap meet that were like the high school kids would have like competitions. They'd have their name on them and stuff. They win the competition. They get these jackets. It's always kind of like that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But this is
Here's a yellow one, and that's a winter
very
jacket.
cool.
So,
Yeah, that one even got a liner in it.
yeah. Yeah, so I had bought those back in the day, so.
So you've had those for 20, 30
20
years.
years, yeah. You don't hardly see them anymore. You'll see a replica now,
Yeah.
but you can tell that, I mean, just the difference in them.
So
and who
majority
made
of your collection is 20 years
Oh, yeah.
that you've had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying not to step on the parts here.
We'd give you a jacket, and who knows, maybe somebody will hang it on a rack
Right.
someday in the future, but it says Mopar on it. I don't think you'd wear it. But we'd give him one. His son probably wear it, right?
And I'll show you another cool thing. So I got this from Dave Riley. Here's an inspector's coat
Oh, shit, look at
from the
that.
assembly
No
line.
way.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
super cool. That's the cool factor way up here, man.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. But judging on the
That'd be like
crash
From the
there,
that'd be like
60s.
right up there.
Or
50s.
50s, yeah.
going into
Oh,
early
gotcha,
60s.
gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, what? It's
still-
cool. It's from Dearborn.
So
The
cool.
fact that it survived, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That somebody
You know,
kept it all
Dearborn
these
City.
years.
Some guy in his last day was like, I'm taking
like
that home.
that.
I'm taking that home to change my oil.
Yeah, so I had that, you know, and so, yeah, I don't know. There's no other cool stuff. I don't know.
Oh, there's cool stuff all around.
got
We're
shirts
just
up there,
we're not gonna have a 4-hour show.
That's
so
a real pony
we need
car
like
right there, but
we need like 4 or 5 hours for this one. All these parts up here.
Yeah, there's a ton of ones in that.
I know.
okay, here. Now I opened this box, and a guy had found 5 of these, and I bought 4 of them, and I sold 3 and kept 1. But it's an accelerometer. I don't know if you know what an accelerometer is. It has the instruments and everything.
Oh shit.
So you put that on your
Oh,
dash.
for
and, so
G
when
to
you
measure
hit
G-force.
And I was the first one to open the box.
Holy crap.
You know,
Had to make it
so
with
What year
pictures.
is that? Like
65, 66, somewhere in there.
and so if you had a Cobra, you could go in and have
Yeah,
them
but
add that.
Yeah.
You could have Shelby or Ford add that to your
Well, look where it came from.
Shelby.
You know.
Yeah.
When Shelby was producing that.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, that's a cool piece. You know.
Absolutely.
So,
So-
what would an average cost of something just like? I mean, it's like an unobtainium, right?
Well, and they're out there.
They are? Okay.
You know, but I mean, back in the day, we were selling them for $750. So I don't know what they're
What
worth.
they're
Yeah,
worth
they're
now.
only worth what somebody's willing to pay. You know.
Yeah, but
But-
people are willing to pay. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
in
for
today's
stuff like
world,
that.
for
I mean,
stuff
that's-
like they can't find that's never been used.
Yeah, the original box, original packaging.
Yeah.
You know.
Now they
So-
might have a hard time pulling it out and putting it on a car.
Well, that's the problem. That's the sickness part. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
like you go
I
to Bob,
can't put that on the car. I got to keep that in my drawer.
I mean, if you think this is something, you go to Bob Perkins' place, and you need to go take a tour before he retires. You need to go to his
Where's
place
he
in
at?
Juneau, Wisconsin. You need to go there. It's absolute gorgeous place. Got some really cool, the best of the best cars. And when you go up into his barn, they call it and he's got all the parts laid out. It'll make you sick, the stuff he's got. You know, but if you want to buy it, it's for sale.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
so-
surprised with all the people you know that somebody hadn't already bought these cars from you.
I just didn't really want to sell them.
Yeah, no,
know?
I trust me,
I
I
mean-
know that. But I'm just surprised somebody didn't get here and get them, even though they weren't for sale.
So there's a Rotunda. That's early Rotunda tack.
Is that the same like the 65, 66, 350s
I don't
had
know
on the
because
dash?
it's a $6,000 tack. I mean, I think they had a 9 in them,
Oh, okay.
but it was a $6,000.
But you
so,
can go buy that off the shelf from.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, so I mean, I collected stuff like
Yeah,
this.
that's amazing.
You know,
That's
there's
so cool.
new old stock steering. I mean, speedometers and tachometers. They're for the Boss 9s, Mach 1, stuff like that.
Wow.
You know, so there's mirrors. There's all kinds of stuff. You know, so.
Everything all the way down to oil filters,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
spark plugs.
Yeah, I have assembly line oil filters up there. There's distributors up there. There's all points distributor caps. There's service parts. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. There's new old stock window seals. That's a new dash for non-AC cars.
I was gonna ask what that was.
Yeah, that's a non-air dash.
Yeah, we just bought a 69 GT500 that they used an NOS dash in it.
Yeah.
And it's sitting there and it's beautiful. It's got the big Ford stamp in the middle of the pad on
Yeah.
the bottom side.
There's air filters up
On
there.
Pinky?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's air filters over there that have, like that box says Motorcraft, but it actually has a Autolite air filter in it. That's why I say when they started rebranding that stuff Motorcraft.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hey, a lot of stuff resurfaced. We pulled this pink 69 GT500 out of New Mexico. It's not the original one from the Playboy, but it kind of, we got a lot of different feedback online and stuff like that. Do you know if anybody knows of that car or where it's at?
The only one I would know would be Ed Myers.
Okay.
Would probably know.
Gotcha.
You know, he's probably got a better grip on that. If there was anything weird like that, Ed would probably.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't originally pink, but somebody painted, you know, when was that painted pink? Was it from the, like right after the factory got it?
What are you talking about?
Because it was originally
the Playboy car?
Blue car,
It was-
wasn't it?
It was pastel.
Oh, that's right. Pastel gray.
gray.
Yeah, pastel gray.
No, I mean, they ordered it from Shelby and then took it to another place and had it painted pink.
And had it painted pink.
Yeah. In 1969.
Okay,
for
so
the,
it was at
for
that
the,
time.
Yeah, for the Playboy. I mean, she
Okay.
was the 1969 Playmate of the Year.
Yeah, we have the magazine. I just didn't look at it. Everything happened so quickly that day.
I looked at
we
it.
We bought one. We loaded it up. It was like a blur, but it's always a blur. This is a
Yeah.
blur right now.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot to digest in this
yeah.
and just in this room alone, you know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, it just brought up a lot of stuff online because we put it up on our channel and people were talking about that pink Shelby. There's only one, so
Yeah.
it'd just be interesting to see that.
Ed Myers,
surface.
and he's got a little bit of Hemi experience too, so he'd be a great guy to call and ask him about it.
Okay, all right.
So
That'd be
yeah.
a cool one to find.
Yeah, those four names. I mean, if you want, while they're still alive, I mean, you know, Bob's up in his 70s now, but I mean, you really need to go there and see his collection. And I heard
sounds
that
awesome.
maybe next year some of it might be going to Meekum. I'm not sure, but he's the one that bought and restored the 71 Boss 302, the yellow.
Oh,
Gotcha.
That they just.
That they made, yeah. So he's the one that did that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Bob's a very knowledgeable guy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Well, let's get them paid.
yeah.
Okay. Your way.
Okay.
Transmission. There we go.
Oh, that was way too easy.
Man, it's not even hot yet. And check it.
But you were in
Gotta love the California guy in Texas.